Yeah, absolutely, Jack. And are they going to be patient at turn one or aggressive? Because I think that's going to be one of the keys to the race. And then after they get through those first couple of corners, I think patience, looking after the car, the tyres in these incredibly hot conditions. Look at the heat haze. Standing on the starting grid, you could feel the heat just radiating up through the track. This is going to be a fascinating battle over the next 45 minutes plus a lap.
The longest run down to turn one in Formula E history, we believe. It's a really long run down to that first corner, so there'll be a lot of jockeying for position. Is the right-hand side of the circuit going to be slightly cleaner? The left-hand side, as we look at it here, first, third, fifth, and will they get a better getaway? That's going to be an interesting question, so keep your eyes on that right-hand side. Here is Sam Bird lining up into position. That's Ian James, the team principal of Mercedes EQ, and a race that could have a big swing in the World Championship is about to begin. The second half of the season is about to start, and we're about to go racing in Indonesia for the first time. Front row lockout for Diaz Techeetah, Vern on pole, Da Costa second, all 5 lights are on. And we go green in Jakarta. It's a pretty slow start for Da Costa. That gives Evans an opportunity in the blue Jaguar on the outside, coming down towards the first corner. But Da Costa has the inside, and he holds the place. There's a huge squeal of tyres as people try and make it around the first corner, but everybody, I think, has got through safely. Verline has made up a couple of places. Now they come through turns 2, 3 and 4. Verline has got ahead of Nick de Vries as well and up into 8th place. Brilliant start from the Porsche driver, but Vern holds the lead. Da Costa didn't get away well, but he's still in second place in the black and gold Diaz Techeetah, and here comes Lotterer, forcing his way past Nick de Vries. I thought he was going to go into the side of his Porsche teammate for a moment, but he managed to keep it all together. But it's the two Diaz Techeetahs who hold the lead out front. Vern ahead of Da Costa, and then it is the Jaguar of Evans in third, the Rocket Venturi of Eduardo Mortara in fourth, Jake Dennis in fifth as they come through turn 13 for the first time.
And the car's trying to get single file because you can see the marbles on the outside of the circuit. If you hit those, it's like hitting out, so everybody fighting to get not only places, but just to get single file at the moment, and then pick and choose their battles throughout the field.
Through the final corner at turn 18 and out onto the start, finish straight again to complete lap 1. It's a 45-minute plus 1 lap race. Antonio Felix Da Costa in the slipstream of Jean-Eric Vern, and they're very, very close coming down into the first corner. Da Costa said that they're free to fight as long as they respect each other. I asked James Rossiter, the sporting director, is Da Costa allowed to win this race? He said, yeah, but there's a lot to unfold because Vern has the points advantage in the championship fairly comfortably. The other thing we're going to see in these early stages as Buemi goes for Van Dorn, and that is 6th place now for Sebastian Buemi in the Nissan. Very nice move from the champion of season 2. There's a yellow flag at turns 2 and 3, so we'll try and work out who that is, but Buemi is up into 6th place, Van Dorn down to 7th. Still the two black and gold Diaz Techeetahs are leading the way, and the safety car is deployed. Safety car is deployed, and there's a wheel off, and it's Oliver Rowland who has dropped to the back of the field, and the safety car is deployed. Scott Elkins in the bottom right deploying the safety car, and that will bunch everybody back up together. Now, the time spent behind the safety car, some of it will get added on to the end of the race as well, so depending on how long the safety car is out for. But Rowland is off at turn 3. Vern and Da Costa first and second, Evans third, Mortara fourth, Dennis fifth. And Buemi, Van Dorn, Verline, Lotterer and Nick de Vries the top 10 as we are under safety car conditions here in the Jakarta E-Prix after, and there is Rowland climbing out of the car, and he's frustrated with that as well, you might expect. And that is the end of Rowland's race.
But the car is already behind the wall, so I don't think this safety car will last too much longer. Just looking how close some of the cars are running. We keep talking about temperature, that's also battery temperature. And it's really important that drivers get as much cooling into the car as possible so they can keep the battery cool. That's going to allow them to regenerate or put more energy back into the battery as the race goes on. But if you look at Da Costa, he's sitting so close to Jean-Eric Vern, it's going to choke off his radiators a little bit.
So what's happened there to Rowland? Is it the front left?
Fallen off.
Yeah, it looks like the front left that's missing, but there doesn't look like there's any other damage.
Normally when you see an accident like that, the wishbones that hold the corner on come off as well. It looks like the wheels just come off.
And some of the safety car will be in this lap then, so we'll get racing back underway pretty quickly. Let's have a look at the start again. the two Diesta cheaters. It was a much cleaner start for Evans, but just had the outside line.
Yeah, and I think Evans, the cars on the left, just gained advantage of a clean part of the track.
White and black Porsche on the left. Pascal Wehrlein going right around the outside. He got on the dirty stuff and still managed to hold it and get around the outside. That was class from Pascal Wehrlein. Watch again, the white Porsche on the right-hand side, far back. It looks like he's cooked, but he keeps it together.
I mean, phenomenal racecraft. And also just looking at where everybody else is positioned around him, not to turn into anybody on board with Mitch Evans and the Jaguar.
You can see the wheel spin from Da Costa's rear wheels.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think Mitch Evans didn't want to get tucked in behind. I think we're going already. I think Jean-Eric Vergne is gone.
Safety car in. Jean-Eric Vergne gets the race back underway here in Jakarta. Through the final corner, out over the line, and down towards the first corner. Evans is pretty close here to the back of Da Costa, and I wonder if there's a feeling at Jaguar they need to clear and split one of the Diesta cheaters if they need a chance of winning this race and not let the cheaters just control the pace and control the field.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing he wants to do right now is see Jean-Eric Vergne in the lead, disappearing up the road as his teammate Antonio Felix.
Then Evans is through. Da Costa going in far too hot into turn 7, and the Jaguar driver is now up into second place then. And he will now start to try and attack Jean-Eric Vergne in the lead. It's given Vergne a bit of an advantage. There's some defensive work from Dennis. There's some attacking work, I think, from Wehrlein, trying to get ahead of Van Dorn. Hasn't quite worked out. So there is 3rd, 4th and 5th. Da Costa, Mortara and Dennis. But Jean-Eric Vergne, because of that mistake from Da Costa, has got a little bit of breathing room up at the front. Out over the start-finish straight, we come again. Vergne leading in the Diesta cheater, sets the fastest lap of the race. Second is Mitch Evans in the blue and grey Jaguar. Then it's a wide again from Da Costa. He's locked up again going into turn 1. De Grassi is fighting with Lotterer into the first corner, and they go wheel to wheel. Has Da Costa held the place? I think he has, kept ahead of Mortara. But another little mistake there. De Grassi did get ahead of Lotterer into turn 1, so De Grassi's up into 10th place. Here's Da Costa's radio.
Okay, brake balance, try to get back the position as soon as possible if you can.
So Da Costa being told, try changing your brake balance.
And that means moving the balance, I would imagine moving it rearwards. You can adjust how much it brings to the front and the rear axle of the car. And that will change with the brake-by-wire system with electric motors as the race goes on. But right now, he's relying more on the mechanical.
Turn 16. Going side by side with Sergio setting camera, and a bit of contact, I think, with his teammate there. And sent Giovinazzi spinning. Oh, and then Roland's coming in behind. So that was earlier on. That was a very strange incident. 37 minutes plus 1 lap to go.
I wonder if the angle was just...
I think he just fell off the wheel.
Yeah,
no
I was trying to sort of make excuses here, but that is far from ideal. Now, at this moment in time, the car balance, the grip level, front to rear, is not going to be perfect because the drivers are going to start with a bit more understeer with the front sliding of the car to try and protect these rear.
So Jean-Eric Vergne takes attack mode from the lead of the race, comes out in the second place. You get 13% power for an extra 4 minutes. You have to do it twice in the race. Both Diesta cheaters doing it before anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that 30% advantage to power, but look how much time it cost him to take that. But the great thing for Jean-Eric Vergne, he did not lose 2 spots. He only lost 1, and I think that puts him in a very spot as this race progresses.
Da Costa will soon be trying to get back ahead of the black Venturi of Eduardo Mortara. Some of the teams are using your attack mode earlier because the battery temperature at the start of the race is lower than at the end. So when you're then using more power and working the battery harder, you want it to come from like a cooler baseline than if you wait towards the end of the race and the battery's hotter, and then you get hotter from a hotter place, you're going to be hotter than if you get hotter from a cooler place.
It's very hot.
I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer.
Yeah. The other thing to think about, the tyres are in better condition right now than they will be later in the race when they get hotter.
Attack with magic paddle, hard on activation, attack and magic paddle.
That's Mitch Evans activating attack mode, and he comes out just behind Eduardo Mortara. So Vergne is back in the lead of the E-Prix, and then Mortara is in second, and Evans would have hoped to have come out in front. He might be able to get him here as they come down the start-finish straight. In fact, he's defending a little bit from Da Costa. Da Costa looking to the outside. I thought Evans would be sailing past Mortara then for second place, but actually he's under more pressure from Da Costa behind.
That is, wait till it gets to the straight bit, I was going to say, but that was the straight bit. And the rest of the lap, you're turning the whole time. So, yeah, I was surprised that Da Costa didn't have an advantage.
Jake Dennis is activated his attack mode as well. It's first of two. He's running in 5th position fairly solidly. And Buemi is in 7th place, yet to activate his attack mode also. Here's a great shot of those sweeping corners, and then through the right of 11, and then through 12, and down to the hairpin right-hander of turn 13. This tight hairpin.
The day of grip and heat.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that will sort of become more and more apparent towards the end of the E-Prix.
We can arm fan boost, we can arm fan boost.
So Van Dorn being told we can arm fan boost. He's running in 5th place at the moment, but he will probably use it to defend from Jake Dennis, because Dennis is going to have attack mode down this main start straight. I don't know if he's close enough, in all honesty, so keep your eyes on 5th and 6th place here across the line. Does Van Dorn even fire it? I don't think he does, because there's no real need. Dennis is not close enough coming into turn 1, so Van Dorn doesn't use fan boost this time around in the number 5 Mercedes EQ. 16 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Dennis is now out of attack mode, so it's all now about when Evans and Mortara will activate their attack mode and how much progress they can make when they do so.
The bad news for Evans is Adrian Mortara caught him back those 3/10 that lap, so the gap is the same again. And if he's going to take, if he is going to take attack mode, he's probably going to lose certainly 1 spot, possibly 2.
Cars flashing through that sequence of corners at 8, 9 and 10. Vern and Mortara having a little bit less energy available than Mitch Evans. Evans is looking quite strong for energy at the moment, not massively so. And there goes Mortara into attack mode. His second attack mode, he's got 4 minutes where he'll have more power than the rest of the cars ahead of him, but he's dropped down into 4th place as a result.
Let's use some energy, ENO plus 004.
And Josep Roca, Evans' engineer, has just seen those energy stats that we put up and has decided, right, we can afford to use a bit more energy, because the teams only get to see the other cars' energy when we show them.
I think we're trying to do 2 things there. We're trying to open up the gap from Da Costa and obviously close down the gap to Vern before he takes that second attack mode. And he's going to try and get into the lead of the race with that extra power, and then having track position, either drive away or hold up Jean-Eric Vern behind him. That's the plan.
Easy.
Yeah, theoretically we've got it won.
And has Evans now got a gap to activate his attack mode? There's a look at those drivers who have fan boost still. I think Evans might be quite close to a gap here to come out in front of Da Costa potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be doing it right now, Jack. I think it's far enough ahead. Let's see what he does. Here he goes,
Push and attack, no magic paddle, push and attack.
Through goes Evans, activates attack mode. And that's what it means to James Barclay as Evans emerges second in the race, crucially still ahead of Antonio Felix da Costa. And now he's going to start the charge to try and close in on Jean-Eric Vern. But here comes da Costa on fan boost. He's having to defend here from Eduardo Mortara. And Mortara can't make it through.
I think Mortara gave him a little shove in the braking zone as he moved across the front of him. That's massive for Mitch Evans to hold position. Let's see how much he can close that gap now to Jean-Eric Vern, the leader of the race. He's 1.7 seconds behind, but he gained 0.3 of a second through the first sector.
He's going to be up on the back of him before too long. Less than 14 minutes plus a lap to go in this fascinating Jakarta E-Prix so far. Here's Evans' radio.
Da Costa is holding Mortara back. We could magic paddle.
Da Costa is holding Mortara back, so we could magic paddle. The message to Evans. I'm not 100% sure what the magic paddle is, to be honest.
Me neither. I'd be guessing right now, which has never stopped me before.
Yeah.
Just watching Mortara's car, looks like he's got a slightly better balance. He's also got a load that he's got an extra 13% of power, which always makes the car handle a little bit better when it goes quicker in a straight line. Here he comes, and there's no holding him back, I'd say, right now from Antonio Felix da Costa.
Mortara gets through in the Venturi ahead of the DS Techeetah of da Costa. So one DS Techeetah leading the way, the other down in 4th place with Evans and Mortara in 2nd and 3rd. There's Evans, there's Mortara with the from around the side of the circuit, but that has gone flying in the air.
Just watching Jake Dennis there in the Avalanche Andretti car, the red car on camera now, his car sliding a lot more than those around him. The back end of the car sliding a lot more, so it looks like it's using its tyres harder. And this next 11 minutes plus 1 lap are not going to be nice, I think, for Jake Dennis.
Here's a replay of Dennis getting overtaken by Pascal Wehrlein into turn 1. Wehrlein gets the move done. So Dennis, yeah, okay, he did send it back. Got the cut back into turn 2 and 3. Very nice move from Dennis.
That would explain why he's sliding around. He's been offline. Nice move. Every time I see Jake Dennis is doing something wrong, he's actually doing something really right. So, sorry, Jake.
Here comes Evans down towards the first corner.
Only 15
he's
seconds.
A little too far back to attack Jean-Eric Verne.
You saw him slide off the last corner.
Nose to tail for the lead. Verne ahead of Evans. And Evans has caught up to the back of him now, so it's just a pure race from here on in. And it's between Verne and Evans for the win in the Jakarta E-Prix. They've both got fan boost available as well.
Good job.
I don't think Verne saw that coming either. And can Verne now fight back? The crowd are on their feet.
I'm glad it wasn't just us, Jack. That came from nowhere. Mitch Evans in the Jaguar. Was there a mistake by Jean-Eric Verne in the corner before? Let's see, has he got the speed to fight back?
Evans getting a huge round of applause as he comes around the stadium section at turn 16, because he is now leading in Jakarta and trying to get his championship challenge properly back on track. It would be his 3rd win of the season. The first driver to achieve that. We've got 6 minutes plus a lap to go, and there's half a second between Evans and Verne. Can the DS Techeetah of Jean-Eric Verne, the 2-time champion, do anything to respond? If it finishes like this, Van Dorn holds the championship lead, and Verne is up into 2nd place. And this was how Mitch Evans did it. Sent it to the inside and got it done on the brakes, and nothing Verne could do.
So impressive, because it is so dirty offline. And look how bumpy it is too. Yeah, as you say, Jack, got it stopped, got the car rotated. Fantastic stuff.
Evans leading the way now. Jean-Eric Verne down to 2nd place. Running in 5th place, trying to get ahead of Antonio Felix da Costa.
And his camera right next to the driver's left eye. Fantastic view. This is exactly what the driver sees. You can see the driver can't actually see the nose of the car, how far it extends. So when they hit juice, you see him grabbing some oversteer, controlling the slide from the back of the car as he comes through turn 17 into the final corner.
Minute and a half of added time. So when this 3 minutes and 20 gets to 0, it'll then go back up to 1:30, and then there'll be 1:30 plus 1 lap remaining. Van Dorn not able to get ahead of da Costa in the fight for 4th position. Evans, Verne, Mortara for the lead, and then da Costa, Van Dorn for 4th place. Jake Dennis still running in 6th position. Evans and Verne still have an attack mode to go.
Jeff might use fan boost on the main straight.
It's Evans being told that Verne might use fan boost on the main straight, which they're coming up to in a few moments' time. A couple of corners. And on the run down towards turn 1, is Jean-Eric Verne going to be close enough? Doesn't look like it, to be perfectly honest, but 2.5 minutes plus a lap to go. He's running out of time to try and use it. Verne does. Verne is on fan boost, but he's not close enough.
No, absolutely not, Jack. And you've got to have a big advantage to be able to pass on the brakes into one. You can get them on the straight line speed down the straight, but into turn 1. Mitch Evans in the Jaguar leading the race, and Jean-Eric Verne will pounce.
And we have seen those errors before. Evans running really well in New York at the end of the last year before tapping the wall, but it's Verne who makes the error. Big lock-up on the left front. How much ground has he lost? None. He's right there. We're on board with the Frenchman. If it finishes like this, he moves into 2nd in the championship. If he wins the race, he moves into the lead of the championship. But Eduardo Mortara in the Rocket Venturi has caught them as well. The 2nd place man in the standings has joined this fight and caused a collision with Nick de Vries. That'll be why de Vries ended up with a puncture and in the pits for a new tyre.
Again, These guys carry the maximum amount of speed. You want to save energy, carry as much speed as you can when you're off throttle, and that's easy to make a mistake in those situations. Jean-Eric Vergne absolutely stalking Mitch Evans in the lead.
Through 16, you can see the dark clouds coming as one of Jakarta's traditional storms appears to be on the way, a little too late to affect the race. On what is turning into a beautiful evening and a very entertaining first ever Jakarta E-Prix. Across the line we come then, and the added time is about to get added on now. And so the added time of 1 minute 30 plus 1 lap to go. Mortara's being told he's got more energy than the drivers in front, and that could give him a chance to gain 1 place.
That's what you want to hear as a driver. Just gives you that impetus, just keep attacking, and you know the 2 ahead of you are in trouble.
We're going to have 2 to go at the end of this one, so 2.5 laps remaining by my calculations. So they're going to be a bit tight on energy here.
And you saw Vergne go down to 5% and back up to 6 as he put some energy back into the battery. Watch them again into 13. See if it goes back up to 6. But now he's got dirt on his tyres, Jack. Can't overdo it through turn 1. Look how slow he is.
Gets out of shape. Evans got out of shape. Vergne is all over the back of him. Bump.
And Evans is just out of position ever so slightly at every corner.
But he got a little bit of a good run coming through 4. This is the view back from Evans.
I'm struggling with the rears.
Evans under big attack. 2 laps to go. Evans saying, I'm struggling with the rear tyres.
Watching about 3 corners time. Let's see if Jean-Eric Vergne sends one down the inside into turn 13. Coming up.
1 lap to go at the end of this one.
Ah, here comes Vergne. No, nothing doing.
And Mortara is right in the fight as well. This is going to be so tight on the final lap of the Jakarta E-Prix. We've got 3 for the win.
And you see the wide line from Evans trying to keep the momentum up through these long sweeps.
More energy than the pair of them. Bit of a twitch from Jean-Eric Vergne. Look how close Mortara is now. Final lap of the race coming up. And we've got 3 for the win in the Jakarta E-Prix.
Ok, last lap ou on ressort ça me dit aux autres.
Ouais, je sais.
Mortara to the outside into turn 1. Evans is just doing enough. Vergne's in big energy trouble here. He's got 1%. Evans and Mortara have 2%. Vergne is going to struggle to finish second here, surely. They're coming down into the left-hander of 7. They're both, Evans and Vergne, covering the inside defensively. Can Mortara find a way through? There's only really 2 more overtaking opportunities, and the first one is coming up into turn 13.
Through 12, this is the run up to 13 now. No, he lifts really early, Mitch Evans. Vergne defending like crazy. So Evans put the energy back into the battery, back up to 1%.
It's a long run to the line as well, so they may have to lift off here, Jean-Eric Vergne, earlier than Mortara. Mortara tries to get through. Vergne's out of shape. Evans is surely going to hold on. I think Vergne is going to run out of energy here. He covers the inside right together for second place. But Mitch Evans in the Jaguar has driven a superb race, and Mitch Evans wins in Jakarta.
Come on, come on, come on!
Yeah!
Vergne holds on to second place at the line by 0.2 of a second. That's what it means to the Jaguar team and James Barclay. And Mitch Evans takes his 3rd win of the season.
Let's have a chat to Mitch Evans.
Hey, nice work, guys. Nice work. You gave me the car that we needed. Thank you. This is down to you guys. Thank you.
Mitch is Dario on TV. Congratulations. That was an incredible drive.
Thanks, mate. I'm hot. I'm seriously warm at the moment. Wow. Well, just want to say huge credit to the guys here on the team, just because we had a tough last race, but they gave me the